Kickapoo Chiefs against the Glendale Falcons. Well, it's the South Side version of the Super Bowl, and so Cable 6 breaks out its answer to Al Michaels, Dan Deerdorf, and Frank Gifford. I'm Rob Evans with Steve Barnes and Don West tonight as the Kickapoo Chiefs and the Glendale Falcons do battle. And so let's talk a little bit about the ball game. Steve, first of all, you've got a couple of ball clubs, both with 12-8 records.
Kickapoo's 3-1 in the conference. Glendale 2-2, coming off that exciting overtime loss that you saw right here on Telecable 6, 51-47 Friday, while Kickapoo was doing whatever it wanted to at the pit against Central, winning 66-39. It's always a good one when these two teams get together.
And Don, it's always very important when these two ball clubs get together. This game, as most meetings between these two schools, will have some bearing on the conference race and district seedings.
And first of all, of course, we hope this will be a better game than the Super Bowl was on Sunday. Yes, indeed, this will be one of the important games in the Ozark Conference. They'll match up again February 17th at Kickapoo, but tonight's a big night for both these schools, especially Glendale, that comes in with a 2-2 conference record and needs to get back on the winning track.
We'll be back with the starting lineups, and we'll have more pregame activities right after this. It's the Kickapoo Chiefs and the Glendale Falcons here from Glendale High School. And you know, you talk about the ball game, Steve, that Glendale played against Hillcrest the other night. They were not very happy with the way that one ended up.
No, on the north side of town, I'm sure they probably weren't. Losing in overtime on the road. Hillcrest leads the conference, still undefeated, but they have 4 of their last 6 conference games on the road. They have to come here, and they have to go to Kickapoo, and they're in Joplin tonight, so this race is still very much up for grabs.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups, Don. First for the Kickapoo Chiefs.
Luke McKinley and John Weiss at the guards, Kevin Chisholm, the big man in the middle, and Marcus Moore and Ryan Helming at the forward spots for the Chiefs at 12-8 overall and 3-1 in Ozark Conference play.
The Glendale Falcons come in 12-8 overall, 2-2 in the conference, with that second loss coming in the overtime game that we had a chance to do the other night. And their starting lineup is going to change just a bit.
Well, we're told that Corey Nybert is able to go full tilt this evening, so he and Kenny Price will be the guards. Rob Will, the freshman, in the middle, and Mike Galindo and Justin Foley. Foley had a great game against the Hornets with 19 points and seemed to get a lot of big baskets in that game. So the one change would be Nybert in for Tony Patterson, who will not start tonight. Remember, Friday night, Glendale used only its 5 starters until overtime, when the one man hit in besides the starting 5 was Adam Thompson. So it could be a Glendale team that is a little bit tired coming into this game.
Well, one thing about it, if Nybert is able to go, then that gives him probably a 7-man rotation, which is just fine for Mike Keltner, who's in his 11th year with 217 career wins, 86 losses. Roy Green, his counterpart, in his 12th year, and he's won 214 and lost 116, and there's probably one of the guys who's going to play a key in tonight's game, and that's Kenny Price.
One of 3 senior starters, Nybert and Will, the 2 freshmen in the starting lineup. Roy Green starts 4 juniors. Marcus Moore is the only senior for him.
So that's the important thing, is that both ball clubs not only are pretty good this year, but they also have some young players to talk about. With Glendale, when was the last time you saw 2 freshmen starting here?
You know, first time ever, I believe, and they've played such key roles all season long, Rob Will and Corey Nybert, and will continue to do so throughout the season, including this big one tonight.
So it's the Glendale Falcons and the Kickapoo Chiefs, and we'll be back with the start of the ball game right after this. Rob Evans along with Steve Barnes and Don West as you see the crowd here at Glendale High School. The parent side of the arena is full on both sides. The student side's about half full, and I'm sure before this one gets underway that they're liable to come close to filling up because this is always a very, very big rivalry.
And the last time these two teams met over at Kickapoo at the end of the last year was one of the best games we've done on telecable in years as Glendale came back from a deficit to win at the buzzer for Mike Keltner's 200th win.
And that's a ball game that we're going to have this year with the boys and girls teams between the first two. We're going to have 3 of the 4 meetings this year, and by that I'm saying we missed last night's Kickapoo girls win here at Glendale, but the next time they play it'll be a doubleheader night.
Again, Friday, February 17th, the big rematch night for these two teams out at Kickapoo. But yeah, quite a girls game last night, and Kickapoo got revenge on Glendale for the loss in the Bass Pro Lady Classic Championship, and the Lady Chiefs won 60-45 to kind of stake claim to the girls' best team in the city honors, I guess, at least midway through the basketball season. So once it gets closer toward the end, we'll have yet another meeting between these two great rivals.
Our next ball game coming up as the starting lineups are being introduced to the crowd will be in approximately 11 days on Friday, February 10th, and it will feature the Kickapoo Chiefs at Parkview, and it'll be the Lady Chiefs and the Lady Vikings to be followed by the boys teams from those two schools, and then the doubleheader on Friday, February 17th between Glendale and Kickapoo. So you can tell when the crowds start coming in that the new year has arrived and basketball is here.
It is hoop time in the Ozarks, and everybody in the conference, except maybe for Central, still has a shot at this thing, so everybody needs to come ready to play every time.
And that is going to be one of the keys to tonight's ball game, isn't it?
No question, especially here. Kickapoo has to come out and play well early. These guys can get a little rowdy over here if their team's winning, just like anywhere else. If they want to take the crowd out of it, they're going to have a strong first quarter.
The officials for tonight's ball game, Tim Turville will put the ball in the air, and Robert Burr will be our other referee as Glendale comes out dressed in white with Columbia blue trim. There's some red in there. The Kickapoo Chiefs in gold with brown trim, and also some white thrown in for good measure. It'll be Ryan Helming jumping against the freshman Rob Will for Glendale. Kickapoo is shooting at basket left, going from your right to your left, and they win the opening tip as Helming catches and gets the ball out front to Marcus Moore. Off in the left wing, there's John Weiss. Helming with the ball out front. Luke McKinley handles, gets to Weiss, who throws the ball out front. It is into the backcourt, and Galendo touches it last. It goes out of bounds, and it will be Kickapoo basketball. And Don, that may be one of the things that Mike Keltner was talking about. They had a backcourt violation, but Galendo got over while he was hustling. He still hit the ball and gives it back to Kickapoo.
Yeah, so that negates the backcourt. Ball back to the Chiefs.
Chisholm down to the block, outside Helming, around to Weiss, three-point line. Played almost 30 seconds. A little more than that. And neither team has attempted a shot. Foley knocks it away to Kenny Price, who will drive for the layup. He gets the hoop and the foul. That foul is on Ryan Helming, and that will be his first, and Kenny Price will be shooting for the three-point play right off the bat.
It all started with Justin Foley on the defensive end, slapping that ball away.
Price twirls the basketball, puts it in the air, and it's 3-0. So 3 points the old-fashioned way. McKinley will handle the ball for the Kickapoo Chiefs. Helming catches and swings it to White, who tries to tie and does. Weiss for 3. The Chiefs press. Nybert in trouble, but he gets away with the dribble. Galendo cross floor to Foley, and he throws it over his head, almost out of bounds. Save to Rob Will. Nybert with the ball out front to Foley, and he'll settle things down. 6:40 to play in the first quarter, tied 3 apiece. Foley to Galendo, down to Will on the post. Feeds to Galendo in the lane, off the window, and won't go. And The rebound belongs to Marcus Moore. Ahead to Weiss, three-point line. Cross floor Helming, who takes baseline, and before he can lay it up, he's fouled. Tim Torval comes to the scores table and says Rob Will is guilty of the personal, his first.
Nice move by Helming to take the baseline from Galindo. Will was slow getting over.
Weiss, the three ball from the right side pocket, and it's 6-3. Weiss with a pair of trifectas.
He strikes on 2 occasions early to give the Chiefs their first lead, and all we've had have been points in groups of 3 so far.
Will having trouble getting it in, throws to Galindo, who tips, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Glendale, so the Chiefs have it.
And there you saw Luke McKinley back off at the last minute when that ball was going out of bounds. He knew his team would have it.
Chiefs up by 3. The ball is knocked into the backcourt by Price, but McKinley goes back to get it. Top of the key off to Weiss. He'll penetrate into the lane. Outside Helming. He'll try the 3 ball, and it's no good. Weiss gets the rebound. Marcus Moore comes out of there with it after Weiss and Chisholm combined to knock it away. Price went for a steal, made contact, knocked it out of bounds. Last touched by Luke McKinley. Tim Torval called it from over on this side, and that guy's not happy with it. So Glendale with the basketball down by 3. 5:50 to go in the first half as Nybert catches. Bounce intended for Foley, stolen away by Ryan Helming. Right baseline, the high shot pops around the popcorn popper, and Rob Will pulls it out of the air. Cleans house, and for his efforts, he is going to get called for a foul, I believe. Or they're going to give it to Kevin Chisholm. It'll be Chisholm who is called for the foul. The way Robert Burr pointed in, Don, I thought he was going to hit Will for trying to clean house.
Yeah, me too, and there could have been justification for that too, because he was throwing the elbows to beat the band.
Nybert or Galindo to Will, who lays it in. So it's a 1-point lead for the Chiefs. 5:20 to play in the first quarter. In fact, Kickapoo's only tried 1 shot from inside the 3-point line. That was Helming's runner that was out last trip down floor. Weiss at the foul line. Helming kicks it out to McKinley, who will take baseline, put it off the glass, no good. Rebound to Justin Foley. Price down the near side. Under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Price with a runner to give Glendale the lead. And Price with 5 of the 7 points for the Falcons. 4 minutes, 40 seconds to play. First quarter here at Glendale. Our Tuesday night edition of the high school game of the week. Helming passed up a 3. Weiss won't. And he leaves it short. Ball is knocked out of bounds, and it will be Glendale basketball. Ball comes inbounds, loose. Foley saves it to Galindo. He'll feed to Price, and Price is going to lose the ball, but they go to the floor. Chisholm picks it out of there for Kickapoo. Chiefs had a numerical advantage briefly. Helming for 3. Count it. Chiefs have 9 points, and they've all come from the 3-point line.
Helming had 23 in the win at Central Friday night.
And if Kickapoo continues to shoot like this, they're going to be trouble. We get a hand check foul called on Luke McKinley, and that will be his first, team's third. .359 left to go. First quarter, it's 9-7. Kickapoo. Glendale tries to tie, missed it. And Marcus Moore with the rebound. Helming. Outside to Weiss. McKinley at the 3-point line. Helming out front, left elbow. May have had his shot altered by Kenny Price, who came over, and it's an air ball, and it goes out of bounds to the Glendale Falcons.
Price trailing the play, got over there in time. I think he did deflect that ball.
Scott Jones and Jeff Welch into the lineup. Jones comes in, 6'2" junior, and Welch, a 5'10" junior. Foley with the ball inbounds. 3.5 to play. The ball is tipped by Helming, tipped by Will, out of bounds to Kickapoo.
Welch has been a spot starter at a guard, and they don't lose a whole lot with him in there. Good ball handling.
Ryan Helming with the ball, 3:20 to play in the first quarter. It's 9-7. Kickapoo on top. Down to Chisholm in the lane. He'll jump, force the ball up off the glass. Good, and it's going to count.
How about that from Kevin Chisholm? Looks like Will's going to get the foul.
He just was not quite straight up, and there was enough there to get him the foul, and that'll be his second, and Chisholm gets his chance for 3.
There's a reason why you throw the ball towards the basket when you draw contact. 3-point play for Chisholm the old way, and everything has come in increments of 3 for Kickapoo. Will is going to sit down, and going to the bench, Adam Thompson comes in for Glendale.
Again, he was the only reserve to play in the Friday night overtime loss at Hillcrest.
12-7, Kickapoo by 5. 3 minutes to play. First quarter. Price head of the circle. He'll back it out. If you throw the ball towards the basket when you're fouled, it just might go in. There's another turnover as Glendale's Kenny Price throws it out of bounds. I'm not sure if it was tipped by Nybert or not.
He headed for the basket, and Kenny didn't want him to.
Weiss with the ball, 2:45 left to play in the first quarter. Good ball movement around the perimeter, and Weiss will spot for 3 against the zone, and it's no good. But Chisholm with the offensive rebound and the putback. He gets another offensive rebound, tosses another one up there. It won't go. Getting back again is Kickapoo, Scott Jones, and finally Glendale comes up with the ball. Price down to the baseline. The defense slides by, and Price sticks it in the basket.
Give Justin Foley some credit on the other end down there with some straight-up defense.
It's 12-9, 2 minutes, 10 seconds to play. As Weiss spins, then bounces one to Helming. Chiefs recover. Welch with the basketball to Weiss. 2-minute warning. Helming on the baseline, takes it into the lane, all the way to the house, and he draws a foul. Corey Nybert, the freshman, is going to get hit with a foul, his first. So far, all of the Glendale fouls have belonged to freshmen. 1:55 to play. Free throw, good for Ryan Helming. He has 4. He got them both. Give him 5. 14-9 with 1:50 left to play. Quarter number 1, Price against the press, beats it and then throws it away as Thompson wasn't looking for the pass. Turnover is going to go to Price, but I have a feeling that that was one of those plays where Thompson should have been playing outside instead of heading down low.
He should have been. Coach Green really liked his defense that time, too.
Well, that time, turnabout is fair play as Thompson comes up with a steal. Glendale down by 5. Foley. Price out front. He ignores Thompson on the wing, kicks it to him for 3. Short, no good. Thompson runs it down, throws it off Welch, out of bounds to Glendale.
Heads up play by Adam Thompson.
So Luke McKinley is back in, and Welch is going to sit down. 3 players have scored for Kickapoo. 2 players have scored for Glendale. Foley has it knocked away, but he runs it down at the arc. Price handles the ball. He has 7 of their 9 points. Rob Will on the bench with the other 2. So Galindo and Foley have been quiet so far. Thompson on the wing with 1 minute to go. Kickapoo staying in the zone. Galindo at the arc. Looks at Nybert low. Bounces to Foley outside with 50 seconds to go. Galindo, Nybert in the corner. He'll spin, look to lob it low, go cross forward to Foley. Thompson back to Justin with half a minute left.
Already shaping up to be one of those games between the Chiefs and the Falcons.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Keltner says, just hang on to it for the last shot. Kenny Price says, I'll just jump up and stick it in if nobody else gets open. Whether that's the play or not, we'll find out. He takes it baseline. There's Glendale at the arc with 5 seconds to go, and the ball is knocked out of bounds by Mike Glendale, and with 3 seconds to go, Kickapoo gets it back. Moore will come in, and sitting down for the Chiefs will be Scott Jones. Long pass. Out of bounds. It'll be Glendale ball at the other end. So the Falcons still have a chance to. He still has a chance to get the shot. Now Roy Green's up off the floor saying he tipped it. Whether or not he truly believes that is another story. I think he does. I think he thought it was tipped. Outside to Price with 2. 1. Good if it goes. It's off the iron, and that's the end of the first quarter. 14-9 Kickapoo, and we'll be back. (14-9) Kickapoo at the end of the first quarter. 6 for Weiss, 5 for Helming, and 3 for Chisholm for Kickapoo. Kenny Price with 7, Rob Will with 2. Rob Will's back on the floor with 2 fouls as we start the second quarter, and here's Steve.
Thanks, Rob. Here we go. Glendale to Foley. Now Justin behind the screen. He'll stop at the free throw line. Rob will take it straight up and draw the foul. Oh, no, they called him for an offensive foul. Nice defense on the other side, apparently. Wow. That is Rob Will's third.
That is something that most veteran players will do no matter what level you're on, is when there's contact, fall down, and in that case, Will is called for picking up his third, and he's going to stay on the floor.
Weiss to Helming in the corner. Now cross court to McKinley. Down low, Chisholm, good, and a foul. The Chiefs moved it around, got it around the perimeter, and then inside.
And Chisholm becoming a master of drawing the foul.
He now has 5 points, and one thing about it, I don't know that you can expect Kickapoo to shoot the ball as well as they are, but right now they're getting good shots in close, and they're going to hit a high percentage of those.
Chisholm converts the three-point play. Will had to leave, by the way. Adam Thompson is back in for him. Glendale on offense, down 8, facing pressure in the backcourt. McKinley tipped it. Right to Justin Foley. He'll give it to Glendale.
Uh-oh.
Baseball pass ahead, too strong for Price. Out of bounds to Kickapoo, but it could have been more disastrous than that for Glendale.
Had he been able to get to the ball and convert the layup, as it is, they're down 17-9.
Weiss to inbound. To Helming. By Nybert, rejected by Glendale, but Kickapoo will keep it. McKinley with it against Price. Behind the back and through the hands of Ryan Helming.
Right now, Mike Keltner is asking for his upperclassmen, in particular the guys who haven't got anything on the board offensively, and we're speaking of Foley and Glendale, to step up and get some things accomplished.
Foley to Kenny Price, who's carried the load with 7 of his team's 9. There's Nybert from the baseline. The freshman with his first 2, coming off a sprained ankle at the end of the Bass Pro Tournament of Champions. Didn't play in the overtime loss at Hillcrest. Helming in the corner. Foley watches him. Ryan tried to go right, then back left to the baseline and dribbled it out of bounds.
He's got to feel snake bit now. Second time in a row that's happened to him. Unforced error.
Jeff Welch in for McKinley.
I don't know if it's snake bit or not, if he's just wanting to know where the handle is.
Glendale across to Foley. Justin moves it right side. A hand on it from Marcus Moore. Kickapoo students thought it should be their ball. Student section's getting with it pretty good now as we're getting into the ball game. Thompson with it. Now to Nybert. The freshman leaves it short. Helming the rebound. We played 2 minutes in the second quarter. Kickapoo up 6 with the ball. This is Weiss to Helming. Back to Weiss, cross court. Welch, 3-ball, good. Jeff Welch in the books. That is 4 long bombs for Kickapoo. They lead by 9. And press in the backcourt. Foley in a double team to Thompson. Nybert on the baseline, kicks it back out to Thompson. They'll find Foley. He's open for 3, and that one's good. He is in the book after having 19 at Hillcrest, and it's a 6-point Kickapoo lead. Jeff Welch with it. Kickapoo moves it around. Weiss has it. Now back to the corner for Helming. Pump fake, loses Galindo. One-hander won't fall. Chisholm, the offensive board. And they'll call Foley for the foul.
When Glendale misses a shot on the other end, it's pretty much one and done. When the Chiefs miss a shot, they have missed many, but when they have, they've been able to get offensive rebounds.
They're doing a good job on both the offensive and defensive board. Kevin Chisholm at the free throw line, the 6'2" junior. He has 7. And there'll be a foul, it looks like, against Jeff Welch as he tried to swipe the inbound pass. His first team foul number 4 against the Chiefs. Both teams 12-8 overall. Kickapoo 3-1 in the conference. Glendale 2-2. Nybert breaks the press, gives it to Price. Now to Foley, open same place as the last 3, but he was a step further out and left it short. There's Chisholm with the rebound. Roy Green off the bench, telling Jeff Welch what to do. He relays to the rest of the team. Chisholm at the free throw line, inside Helming, blocked from behind by Thompson. Kickapoo will keep it, however. Helming, good from the free throw line. Helming with 7.
Kickapoo is getting too many open shots close into this Glendale zone. They had the shot that Thompson blocked, and then Helming stepped right into the elbow at about the 10-foot mark and had another easy shot.
Nybert on the left wing to Galindo. Chiefs playing with a lot of confidence. Price buries a 2-ball, they say, from the corner. Price with 9. Halfway through the second quarter. Kickapoo by 7. Weiss to Welch. Back to Weiss. To Welch again. Glendale in the 1-3-1. That should cut off the wing. We'll see. It's what it's supposed to do anyway. Welch and Weiss play catch. Chisholm trying to get loose inside. That's Helming taking baseline. Nobody stopped him and he laid it in. Helming with 9. A 9-point game, a steal. This is Welch in the lane, in jail in the lane. Jump ball is called. Kickapoo will keep it. I mean, obviously the trip is not very far from one place to another, but it's not your home court by any means. You have to be impressed with the Chiefs' performance. Helming thought he should have hit that one. Galindo with a rebound.
You can understand it was one of those that he was open. I think he was surprised that he was that open, that close to the basket.
Counting down to the 3-minute mark in the first half. Galindo, free throw line, in and out, and a whistle on the rebound. And Galindo can't believe that one didn't fall.
Thompson gets the on-the-back foul, and the Chiefs are in 1-1 now the rest of the half. Kickapoo seems to be doing a great job of staying calm and not panicking when they get the ball into the Glendale paint. They're making the shots, they're getting fouled, they're hitting the threes, and this game is theirs right now.
The only senior starter for the Chiefs, Marcus Moores, at the free throw line. Missed the front end of the 1-1, and Glendale will take it.
I know how he got there, but I still ask the rhetorical question, how did Ryan Helming have rebounding position there? The answer to that is they're just outworking Glendale right now.
Kenny Price loads it up, baseline too strong, and Helming snuck in there again. Lost it off his hands. And the Chiefs fans are giving it to Kenny Price. Adam Thompson to trigger. Into Galindo. Cross court to Foley. Welch watches him. Foley to Thompson. Now to Galindo at the free throw line. Back to Foley for 3, left side, too strong. Welch the rebound. So the Chiefs on offense looking to add to a 9-point advantage with 2:20 left in the first half. To the house it goes. Weiss no, but a foul.
And Galindo, as Weiss beat Thompson around the other side, instead of getting over to try and cut him off, laid back to try and block the shot. You can't play defense trying to block shots.
John Weiss to the line. 2 3-pointers to his credit so far. Now you'll add a free throw. Four juniors and a senior for Roy Green's ball club. Missed the second, and there's Helming again with a rebound. Had it slapped away, but that old rhetorical question could be asked again.
How did he get it?
Foley to Price. 2 minutes to go in the half. A 10-point Chief lead. And the foul goes against Justin Foley on the screen.
Absolutely correct, because when Weiss came over and not looked, Foley gave him a little shove, and now he's picked up his third to join Rob Will on the bench.
Tony Patterson will have to come in for Justin Foley. Weiss back to the free throw line.
I'm just guessing, but I would imagine that this ball club, in fact, I know Roy Green has said that this ball club works very, very hard no matter whether they're playing games, practicing, or whatever.
As Weiss misses the free throw, Galindo clears the rebound. Well, that's obvious tonight. They've definitely outworked the.
But the point is, though, is that this seems to be the type of ball club that does whatever the coaches ask them to do, and those are a joy to coach, and they usually get more done.
There goes Helming. Ahead of Nybert. Ryan will lay it in. A 12-point game. Glendale needs a hoop in the worst way in the last 95 seconds of the half. Galindo still in the backcourt, and he'll call timeout. 1:32 before halftime. It's a 12-point Kickapoo lead. Chiefs intercepted the inbounds pass, trying to add to this dozen-point lead as we work our way toward halftime. Adam Thompson was the trigger man, sort of hung out to dry on that play. Helming is open for 3. Not this time, however. Weiss the rebound. They've owned the glass, especially on the offensive end.
They've owned this game so far.
Welch cross court to Weiss. Inside for Moore. Too strong, and there's Price with a rebound. Price will dribble down. Kickapoo student section still reminding him of his air ball from a couple of minutes ago.
He's not the kind of player you want to make mad, so they might ought to lay off that a little bit.
Price has it.
He's very capable of getting a lot of points in a hurry.
Inside 30 to play in the first half. Kind of looks like Glendale will take the last shot. This is Galindo between the circles. Chisholm watches him. There you see time remaining. Price directing traffic. Weiss watches him. Patterson now against Welch. To Nybert against Helming. The freshman off the window, no good. Chisholm the rebound, and there's the half. The Chiefs have taken control here at Glendale. They lead by a dozen halfway through.
(28-16). Kickapoo has the halftime lead over the Glendale Falcons. It was 14-9 at the first stop. Kickapoo had the advantage, and then they outscored Glendale 14-7 in the second quarter to take the 28-16 lead. But yet, even though it's a 12-point margin in a game that where the pace is, that 12-point margin seems like it's an awful lot more.
It certainly does, and Kickapoo played extremely well. Ryan Helming with game-high honors so far with 11, and Kenny Price is almost all by himself on the Glendale scoring column with 9, and that's not what Mike Keltner wants.
No, he wants a little bit more balance, but more importantly, he'd like a little production from Foley and Galindo. Between the two, they have but 3 points, and that was a Galindo 3. The Kickapoo defense, I don't know if you want to call it Glendale's lack of movement on the offensive side of the ball, or if it's Kickapoo switching defenses that has caused them problems. But they have been relatively ineffective on the offensive side of the ball.
And as usual, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. It's a little bit of both. But Kickapoo has played extremely well in the first half, and if they keep it up, they'll walk out of here with a victory.
They've shot the ball extremely well. I'm sure their percentage probably will be a little bit less than it would appear, because on 2 trips down floor, I think they had like 3 or 4 cracks at it, which translates into a few more misses. But by and large, they put the ball in the basket.
And they hit the 3 ball early. That made Glendale come out and respect that, and then they started getting it in a little bit closer. Helming had a couple of close shots, and so did Chisholm, and they got Glendale in the bonus and went to the free throw line.
And they also got them in some serious foul trouble, with Will picking up 3 very early in the second quarter, and Foley joining him probably with about 3 minutes to go in the half.
And that's not a good thing for Glendale.
Well, as we enjoy the routine of the Glendale Pom-Pom squad, we'll return with more right after this.
Let's go. So what you want to do? Shoot. Come on. So what you want to do? Shoot. Come on. Come on. So what you want to do? Shoot. Say what? Say what? So what you want to do? I want to shoot, baby.
Kickapoo on top of Glendale, and whatever Mike Keltner had to say to his ball club at halftime, it was short and to the point, and I have a feeling that it had something to do with hard work.
Probably so, and that's sort of interesting because they usually take their time coming back out onto the floor for the second half. In other games we've done, and not so tonight, they need to be ready to get back after it because Kickapoo outplayed them in the first half.
Take a look unofficially at the point totals. Ryan Helming with 11, John Weiss and Kevin Chisholm with 7 apiece, Jeff Welch with 3 for the Kickapoo Chiefs. Kenny Price with 9, Justin Foley hit a 3, Rob Will and Corey Nybert each with 2 points apiece for the Glendale Falcons, and it's 28-16 at the half. And those 16 points, it is recapped very quickly, but it was very, very hard for them to get those 16 points in the first half.
There was no question about that. Kickapoo played strong defense on the interior. They didn't get much going at all. The Galindo is scoreless. Justin Foley had 1 3-pointer, and Rob Will went to the bench early with the 3 fouls. He had 1 basket inside. So give Kevin Chisholm and Marcus Moore and Ryan Helming some credit also. The back line for Kickapoo's played very well in the first half. In fact, we're hard-pressed to think of anything that Kickapoo didn't do well in the first half.
It's been that kind of night, and the Chiefs, in a low-scoring game, have a 12-point lead here at half. 28-16. Kickapoo with the lead. Back with the second half right after this.
No club level.
28-16. Kickapoo has the advantage over Glendale. The leading scorers in the game, Ryan Helming with 11 points for Kickapoo and Kenny Price with 9. The difference has been the Chiefs have been able to get 7 apiece from Weiss and Chisholm and 3 from Welch, while Glendale has gotten just 3 from Foley, 2 from Nybert, 2 from Will, and Mike Galindo has been scoreless here in the first half. So it's 28-16 as these start with their starting lineup that consists of McKinley and Weiss at the guards, with Chisholm in the middle and Helming and Moore are the forwards as you look at our next action here on Cable 6. Glendale counters with their starting lineup of Price, Will, Galindo, Foley, and Nybert as we start the third, and here's Don.
Thank you, Rob. Glendale's possession. And let's see what kind of a talking to the Falcons got to in the locker room. And they're going to keep the ball as Nybert fell upon it, but it was last touched by a Chief. The lob inbounds is to Galindo, and Jeff Welch is going to pick up a foul. He apparently has drawn the second half start instead of McKinley.
That is Mr. Welch's second.
Oops. He's the only Chief now to have picked up his second foul. Corey Nybert. The Glendale basket to make it a 10-point margin.
28-18 our score here early in the third.
Weiss out to Welch. Galindo coming out on him. Back over to Weiss as Glendale stays back a bit on defense. Weiss will try to burn it and got nothing but air. Chisholm again nearly got it in but drew the foul. He was a master of that in the first half.
Looked like Nybert got a hand on that on the outside, but again, Chisholm got in there for position.
2 free throws for Chisholm. And the first one good.
Kenny Price will get charged with a foul. That's his first.
1 of 2 for Chisholm. And still a double-digit Kickapoo lead early on third quarter, live at Glendale. Nybert into the forecourt. Will, remember, playing with 3 fouls. Pass knocked free in the Glendale lane, and the Chiefs have it coming the other way.
Ryan Helming got the hand on it.
Helming, once on the floor, up and not quite there. Scramble for the loose ball, and Marcus Moore takes it down into the Chiefs' corner.
Has Glendale gotten a loose ball yet tonight?
I don't think so.
If they did, it was early.
Welch, good dish to Moore. And Chisholm taps the rebound high and comes down with it. Moore again. And you just can't give the Chiefs that many chances.
You can't give anybody that many chances. But particularly tonight, Kickapoo.
Price drew the foul on John Weiss. First one on Weiss, 2 free throws for Kenny. JV game tonight went to Kickapoo, 56-42.
Second team foul.
Kenny Price will have a pair. They're still letting him hear it about that first half miss of a 3. First free throw not there. He's the Falcons' first double-figure score. Moore, that's a 2 if it goes, but it doesn't. And Chisholm tips it in.
Chisholm into double figures with 10. Again, excellent position on the offensive board.
Looked like a travel not called. Galindo out to Price. Price wanted to go for the steal. And Will. Back to Justin Foley. Foley's got 3 too, doesn't he?
Yes.
He'll try it once on the floor and got it to crawl in. Now let's see what the Chiefs do. They have been hot from start. Not to finish yet, but to this point they sure have. How is Kevin Chisholm getting it in the hole? Unbelievable.
How about that for a move underneath? And
Well,
when you're hot, you're hot.
Timeout now. Called by the Falcons. 4:56 left in the third. All Kickapoo right now, 35-21. In the middle of quarter three, Kickapoo has retained the momentum that it built in the first half. And Glendale was forced into taking its second timeout. Price got the foul, couldn't get it to spin home. Back to the line for 2 more throws.
I think the last 2 possessions are indicative of the way this one's going. Kevin Chisholm rolled one in with an amazing move. Price makes that shot most of the time. Tonight it rolls off, so he shoots 2 free throws instead of 1.
Got the first one. Glendale students have made a bunch of signs for this game. They're flashing over in the student section frequently.
The one that I like the best is, what is the frequency, Kenneth? If you remember Dan Rather's infamous incident in Central Park.
It's also an REM song.
Well, that shows you how old I am.
Wasn't there for Helming. I'll tell you what my favorite one was. Here's Galindo, fouled by Chisholm from behind.
And that's been the most aggressive move Mike Galindo's made all night. They need more of that.
I saw one over there that said, Brad Pitt doesn't play ball. What that means, I don't know, but it's a fact, I guess.
Well, neither one of you's mentioned my favorite. I'll tell you after the free throw.
First one, yes.
And
one side of the sign says, what do Brad Pitt and KHS have in common? The flip side says they're both overrated. No, I didn't say that.
that's cold.
Yeah, it is.
Glendale students, you get the A for creativity tonight. Recovery by Chisholm, and he was hit from behind by Foley.
Kevin Chisholm's been everywhere on the offensive board.
And Foley just picked up his 4th, so he'll go to the bench unless Mike Keltner takes a gamble. Oh, they're going to call Galindo.
Oh, a break?
Really?
Foley came up and wound up and swatted that thing, and they get a catch a break as it goes to Galindo.
Chisholm, the foul is first. It even looked like Robert Burr pointed right at Foley.
He did. Galindo must have been on the other side. But Chisholm is doing whatever he wants with Galindo underneath the basket.
4 minutes left in the third. And Glendale trying to get back within 10 now, or possibly 9. They've got their work cut out for them, and now a stutter step is called on Price.
And coming into the second half, especially the first 2 or 3 minutes in the third quarter, if you're Kickapoo, all you wanted to do was be on a maintenance program. That's exactly what they've done. They've maintained the halftime margin of a dozen.
Weiss, look out. Foley going for it. 2-on-2. Dish to Price on the lob. Fakes Weiss and got it in.
Kenny Price is unstoppable from down there.
Glendale is as close as they've been since the first half. And the Chiefs are a bit flustered. And Roy Green wants to talk about it. He'll take timeout. 3:18 left in the third quarter. Glendale showing signs of life at home. Don West, Rob Evans, and Steve Barnes back at Glendale. 3 minutes and change left in the third quarter, and the 10-point Kickapoo lead. Now a steal for Weiss. And that is just what the Chiefs needed.
A huge defensive play from John Weiss.
Back to the 12-point lead. This game will air again on Cable 6 Wednesday night at 10 and Thursday night at 9. Here's Foley. Back up front. There's Nybert. And a rebound foul. Will had position, it looked like. Give the foul to Marcus Moore, his first.
Marcus Moore, his first. Team foul number 5.
So 39-27. Chiefs on top. Into Price for 3. And Moore couldn't haul it in.
Will almost grabbed that offensive rebound, but his team will take it anyway. Now's the time if you're Glendale.
Glendale has not led since it was 3-0. Galindo. Nope. Jeff Welch will run the floor. Back across to Helming for 3, too strong. Just clipped the far side of the rim. He'll hear air ball, but it wasn't.
They got both sides yelling air ball.
Galindo found it inside.
Both sides were yelling because Price had the ball for Glendale, so the Kickapoo people were.
Getting late in the third. And the lob pass kicked out of bounds there by Price.
Glendale had a golden opportunity for the intercept, but nobody went after the loose ball. That's got to be frustrating for their coaching staff.
Scott Jones returns for the Chiefs.
Chiefs are living on the edge right now. They need a basket.
Chisholm. Here's Weiss. And he has the touch for 3.
You can't let him spot up for 3 like he's shooting a free throw, which is what Glendale's done all night.
Galindo and Welch exchanging a little push there, and Rob Will puts it in. So an 11-point Kickapoo lead, winding down to a minute to play in the third. Pass inside. There's Jones. And there's going to be a foul. Glendale foul on Rob Will, number 4 on him. Remember, he got his third very early in the second quarter. Set out the rest of the half and now picks up number 4, Marcus Moore, back into the game for Kickapoo. Final minute of quarter number 3, and out of bounds right into the Chiefs bench. You better been looking out for that one.
45 seconds left in the third. Glendale 3 ball could cut it to 8.
They'll try to make it a single-digit game. Price to the hole. And the pass and a block is the call on Weiss.
That's his third.
That's one of those plays that I'm not sure you're ever going to know, but Price was in the air so long that Weiss couldn't have been set.
McKinley now will make his first appearance of the half. And Weiss will have a seat with 3 fouls. 33 seconds left in the quarter. And a nice turn by Foley, and it just won't fall. Welch amongst the trees.
Looked like the Chief had a hand in the net.
Didn't matter. That didn't distract the shot, and that's why the Glendale bench didn't say a word.
And the Chiefs will have a nice lead going into the fourth quarter, no matter what happens in the last 9 seconds. And just leave the lane for Welch, and he took it.
Adam Thompson will get called for his second.
Thompson, his second. Team foul number 4. Jeff Welch.
No one closed up the hole.
2 times.
2 throws for Welch with 4 seconds left. First one good.
Get a look at the 5'10 junior.
Second one not there. Foley with 2 seconds and a Kickapoo foul. Helming slams his hands to the floor on that call. Not because of the call, but because he did it.
Now we'll walk down and shoot without the clock stopping at the other end. Coaches never like to see that.
14, Scott Jones has returned.
Foley for 1 and 1.
Foley at the line.
2 seconds left, so watch out for an offensive rebound here if he misses. But Helming gets it, and that'll do it for the third period. And 8 minutes to go at Glendale. Kickapoo still has the 12-point lead.
Kickapoo gets set to inbound the basketball, and they lead by 12 at 43-31. That's margin they had at halftime. It was 28-16. Both teams with a 15-point third quarter. John Weiss with the basketball back in the ball game. Out front it comes. Welch to Marcus Moore. Glendale probably will spend the fourth quarter trying to double. Weiss almost traveled. Helming spotted for three but didn't take it. All they have to do is play keep away. Helming in traffic, puts it off the glass. He's going to get a foul, and let's see who it's on. If it's on Will, he's done. Nope, it's on Galendo. That will be his third, and Mike Keltner, with less than a minute gone in the third quarter or the fourth quarter, takes timeout. It's 45-31, and whatever they talked about at the end of the break, at the end of the quarter, wasn't getting done.
No, it wasn't, and once again, Helming had the inside position. Nobody's cut off the inside all night. There's been an opening almost every time, and it's been a struggle for the Glendale front line to keep Kickapoo away from the basket.
Almost a safe bet to say, and I find it hard to say that about this particular game as you take a look at what's coming up in terms of college basketball. Our next Mizzou telecast, not until the end of the month of February. It's almost as if to say Glendale, their front line players weren't ready to play this game mentally.
Well, we've seen them play much better, that's for sure.
Yeah. And why I say that's hard to believe is because of the magnitude of this game plus the rivalry between Kickapoo and Glendale.
You would think if you're ever going to be ready to play, it'd be tonight.
The timeout situation, Glendale has used all but one, and Roy Green has used only one, so he has three remaining as Ryan Helming, who has 13 points, go to the line. The fact that their ball club is down doesn't deter those folks from getting with it. As Helming hits the free throw, he has 14 points, so the Chiefs lead by 15, and they continue to press with 7:20 to go in the game. It's been very effective as Nybert trying to feed it underneath. It goes to Foley, and he'll lay it in. 7 for Justin Foley. It's 46-33. Glendale still has some time, but they have to start doing some things right, and they haven't done many tonight.
No, especially defensively, they have to start doing things right. Have to get a stop if you want to cut the advantage.
Or in this case, a steal, because I don't know the Kickapoo's going to, well, as soon as I say that, Helming cranks one up, but Moore gets the offensive rebound.
Is that again or still?
Yes. Both. Weiss in a triple team gets it away to Chisholm. He's on the inside, and that doesn't change. He has 16. And I have not seen a Glendale ball club dominated this way by an inner-city team for quite a while. There's a whistle and a foul as Price goes baseline. I've seen them be beaten at this point by more points, but I haven't seen them dominated like this.
Especially here. They're historically tough in this place.
Weiss with his fourth foul. On another night, that might matter severely. But at this point, it doesn't.
It's been all Chiefs all night. They've done an excellent job.
Price with 14. He's Glendale's only double-figure scorer, and he has 15. Nobody else has more than 7. That's Foley. Will, Galindo, and Nybert each have 4.
And that's not enough.
And Thompson has played but not scored. So is Patterson. Second free throw is no good. 48-34. Kickapoo on top. Luke McKinley back in the game, handling the ball, and ball is knocked into the backcourt. May have been a kick, but Price gets the steal and the layup.
Sure looked like a kick.
He has 17, and Roy Green's going to burn a timeout specifically to ask about that kick. And now, as soon as we say that, he peels back into the huddle. 5:55 to go in the game. Still, Kickapoo by 12 when we come back. Glendale in a full court press. Kickapoo breaks it easily, and so the Falcons drop back into the half-court trap. Luke McKinley finds Chisholm underneath. He gets by Galindo. Galindo blocked the shot from behind, but Chisholm gets it back and draws a foul. So yet another offensive rebound, and Foley picks up his 4th. So Will and Foley each with 4, Galindo with 3 for Glendale.
Chisholm is in such a zone that if I'm Roy, I'm telling him if he gets his hands on the ball, do whatever you want with it. Something good is going to happen, as it has all night with Chisholm.
5:37 to play. A missed free throw, and he'll get another. He missed them both, but it looked like Kickapoo was in position to get the offensive rebound before Tim Turville calls a foul on Ryan Helming, and that will be his 2nd.
So we'll walk to the other end, and Justin Foley will shoot.
This is a good opportunity for Glendale to get back in the game because the clock is stopped and they've got a chance to score points. But Foley can't hit the free throw.
Not the Falcons' night.
I think Mike Keltner recognized that early. Chisholm underneath, ball off his hands. Foley comes up with it. But then again, remember when they came from like 6 points down in what seemed like 5 seconds? Over at Kickapoo as Price gets into the lane. He has 19. I'm exaggerating, of course, but it sure seemed like it. I think they scored 4 points in the last, or 6 points in the last 30 seconds to win that game a couple years ago. As Helming gets hung out to dry, off to McKinley, who goes to the rack and draws a foul.
That's exactly what he needed to do there. Team in a little bit of disarray, saw the angle to the basket and took it.
Foul is on Corey Nybert, and that will be his 2nd. McKinley with the front end of the free throw opportunity that is short, no good. We're under 5 minutes to play at 4:59. The lead is 10. Still 10, but Foley couldn't get the rebound, and Chisholm gets called for climbing on his back. And now all of a sudden, perhaps the fatigue factor checking in. Glendale is beginning to block out a little bit, and now Foley has a chance to go to the other end and cut the lead to 8 with no time coming off the clock.
Chisholm picked up his 3rd. That's 2 consecutive 2-shot free throw opportunities that they failed to convert and have committed fouls on the rebounds on both of them.
And that's twice that Foley has missed the free throws. McKinley in the backcourt ahead to Chisholm. Ball knocked away by Nybert, and a foul. That'll be his 3rd.
Kickapoo had done all right until these last 2 trips from the free throw line. They look like they're a pretty good free throw shooting team.
But Glendale has not been able to take advantage.
No, they haven't.
Somebody's got to make one sometime and break this ice.
No, they don't have to. Kickapoo will take status quo and be happy with it. Chisholm gets the shooter's roll. He has 17. Been a long night for those guys. Free throw is no good. 17 for Chisholm. Price the rebound up floor. He's going to take it into the lane, missed the running one-hander, and Chisholm gets the rebound. Price reaches in to tie him up and is called for a foul. Price with his 2nd.
This could be the longest fourth quarter in the history of high school basketball, especially if Kickapoo continues to miss from the free throw line.
If they miss and foul on the rebound attempt like they've done the last 2 trips, or actually I should say 2 of the last 3, or Chisholm hits the front end here, he has 18. But they have maintained. They jumped out to an early 10-12 point lead. Led by 5 at the first quarter break, but led by 12 at halftime, and it's been that way throughout the second half. 19 for Chisholm. Against the press, Price over the top to Foley. He throws it away.
Tough pass to make in that situation in traffic like that.
Pass had no chance to be caught because it never really bounced up. Moore goes to the house. Glendale swats it away and made contact and draws the foul. He has 4.
And that's what we've been saying about Glendale being just a step slow all night, or at least it seems. Moore just had a drive to the basket.
Thompson is in and Foley is out. So Marcus Moore goes to the line. The free throw is no good.
Kickapoo could be tied for the lead if Hillcrest loses on the road at Joplin tonight. They came in 3-1. The Hornets 4-0.
Free throw is missed, but Chisholm gets another offensive rebound. The ball pops free, and Glendale comes away with it. Backdoor cut to Thompson across the lane underneath, and a foul. A foul is going to be called on Jeff Welch. 3rd foul for him. Weiss returns with 4:11 to play.
Weiss the only Chief with 4 fouls. Glendale, Foley, and Will with 4 for the Falcon.
Free throw is good. Glendale has 5.
All of them in the second half.
Patterson's going to come in. Glendale with 6. Patterson is in and Nybert is out.
Well, the Chiefs are keeping the Falcons in this one by their failures at the free throw line.
Weiss in the backcourt to Welch, who gets around Rob Will. Cross floor to Helming, outside to Weiss, and now the Chiefs will begin to run clock. Chisholm, Marcus Moore handles it out front. Down to Chisholm, he'll spin in the lane, put it up off balance, and thought the shot was going to roll, but it bounced off no good, and the foul is on Glendale. And he's done if that's his foul. So he fouls out with 3:41 to go. So Mike Keltner has his time to get his players in. He'll use it as an extra timeout to talk about what he needs to do and then decide who he wants to bring back, whether it's Foley or Nybert.
Down 11 with 3:41 to go. Looks like it'll be Nybert.
So Glendale fouls out with 6 points. Foley's on the bench with 7. And Chisholm with 19 looks for 20. He's still looking. .20 for Kevin Chisholm. Price angles to the middle of the floor. Nybert gets the shot quickly. It won't fall. Chisholm with another rebound. And we're under 3.5 minutes to play. Helming gets around Will. pulls up and throws cross floor. 52-40. Price knocks it out of bounds. It'll be Kickapoo ball. 18 days for the rematch out of Kickapoo. That'll be a doubleheader night here on Cable 6. And both Glendale teams are going to be looking forward to that game. Price is going to be called for his third. Not having seen last night's, but having watched tonight, I have a feeling that Glendale is going to be saying that we're not going to play this poorly again.
If they do, the result's going to be the same.
Chiefs may win out of Kickapoo, but I don't think Glendale will perform this poorly. That one's going to pop 5 times straight up into the air and fall, or is it 4?
It's the Chiefs' night, no matter how many times.
And that bounce kind of proves it. 5 points for Welch. 6. He gets them both. 54-40. Part of their night has been, however, a lot of hard work on both sides of the ball. Will with the rebound of the missed shot. Helming packs it, but he is called for a foul. His third. I can buy the call as Tim Torval made it. He blocked the shot clean, but he got him with the body.
And that is 4 on Mr. Helming.
You have him with 4, I've got him with 3. Doesn't matter. With 2:53 to go. Luke McKinley is going to come back into the game. And Ryan Helming will sit down with 4 fouls. 54-41. Will with both foul shots. He has 6. 12-point game. Under 2:50 to play. Welch in the backcourt with a long pass over the top to Moore underneath to Chisholm. He puts it up, draws the foul, and Rob Will is done. He fouls out with 2:41 to play.
Fouls on number 55, Robert Will. It's his 5th.
So Mike Keltner will call his ball club over. And he'll take his time deciding who he wants to put in for Rob Will.
So 2 of the 3 Glendale frontline starters, along the back line, I guess I should say, fouled out with 6 points each. Justin Foley has 4 fouls and 7. So that's a total of 19. Kevin Chisholm has 1 more than that all by himself.
You know, we talked about how it was the Chiefs' night and they've gotten the rolls and all that kind of stuff, but a lot of that can be attributed to the way they worked in the first half. They set the tempo of the game by their hard work in the first half.
They did, definitely on the offensive glass.
Free throw is good for Chisholm. He has 21 as Eric Peterson comes in. Chisholm with 22. Peterson, a 6'1" junior, into the lineup. Price loses the ball, picks it back up, and will beat the press. 56-42. Price makes it 56-44. Price with 21. Ball is loose as McKinley picks it up at midfloor, and we get a whistle and a foul on Tony Patterson.
Fouls on number 50, Patterson.
Well, in the month of February, Rob, it'll be all conference games the rest of the way for both these teams. 5 games left on each side. Glendale just has 2 left at home against Central and Hillcrest. They go to Parkview, Joplin, and Kickapoo. And Kickapoo has 3 remaining at home against Hillcrest, Central, in the rematch with Glendale. They go to Joplin and Parkview in February.
2 free throws for McKinley. Helming is in. And McKinley is out with 2:24 to go. The lead is 14 at 58-44.
If you believe in home court advantage, Kickapoo with this victory has the leg up on the rest of the conference, having Glendale and Hillcrest at their place.
Price lost the handle. It was poked away by the Chiefs. Helming handles out front against the double team and gets hit in the back by Adam Thompson with 2:10 to play. Thompson with his third.
Fouls on number 51, Thompson. His 3rd. Coming to the line, 1-1.
Ryan Helming at the line with 14. 15. He had 11 at halftime. Helming again, and it rims in and out. Battle on for the rebound, and Nybert gets it. 2 minutes to go in the game as Patterson down to the baseline hits his first shot of the game. 59-46. We're under 2 minutes. Chiefs really haven't tried to put it in the deep freeze. They've continued to go to the basket. But when you can do that and get the ball down to the block at will, why not? Nybert with his fourth foul. And Chisholm will go to the line.
Chisholm at the line, 2 shots.
I don't think this game is going to be used as a video to demonstrate free throw shooting technique by either ball club. 23 for Chisholm. 60-46. Price scores, but the basket's not going to count. A foul was called first. The point to be made is that Kickapoo could probably be up by 20 if they did half the free throws they've missed.
In this quarter, they were doing okay until this fourth quarter, and I think you mentioned it earlier, the fatigue factor is partly involved in.
Price with the free throws as he was fouled. 22 for Price. 23 for Price with a minute 42 left to go. 12-point lead. And Thompson steals from Welch and missed the layup, but Price follows. 25 for Price. 10th game with a minute 25 to go. Chisholm in the middle of the floor. Welch handles it outside. Patterson went for a steal, didn't get it. Weiss is fouled by Patterson.
And don't look now, but this is as close the Falcons have been since early in the second quarter.
Weren't they within 10 earlier in this quarter briefly?
11, I believe it was.
Okay. Weiss with 13 points. He set the tone early as well. Came out and hit a couple of threes. Gets both of his free throws. Has 14 points. 62-50. Minute to go. Price loses the handle. Out of bounds. Kickapoo ball. Price with 25. Nobody else even close to double figures. And we get a block called on Eric Peterson. Foley with 7, Will and Galindo with 6, Nybert with 4, Patterson with 2. Outside of, that's 25 to go with Price's 25.
Now
15 for John Weiss. Under a minute to play at 59 seconds. Weiss missed the shot, but a foul was going to be called on the rebound attempt. And Thompson will pick up his fourth. Ryan Helming will go shoot free throws now.
1-1.
Helming with a free throw to give him 16.
He did a nice job on the offensive glass, too, in the first half.
Who didn't for the Chiefs? They just owned the offensive glass. 17 for Ryan Helming. Nybert outside to Patterson. 3 ball won't fall. Price had his hands on the rebound, but it's pulled away by Welch. Ahead to Helming for the layup. 19 for Ryan Helming. And Glendale turns it over on the inbounds play. And this game may get out to a 20-point margin as the issue has been decided, and Roy Green is going to go ahead and stay with his troops. And the final 40 seconds or so as Price steals. Peterson ahead, and Kenny will lay it in. He has 27. 67-52, half a minute to go. Marcus Moore. John Weiss outside, gets by Thompson. So the Chiefs will improve to 13-8 and 4-1 in the conference. Glendale 12-9 and 2-3.
Just a dominating game tonight on the part of the Chiefs as they come to Glendale and win it in a big way.
There's a miss at the buzzer. Doesn't matter, as our final is Kickapoo 67 and Glendale 52. Kevin Chisholm with 23 points, Ryan Helming with 19, John Weiss with 15. And all Glendale can answer with is Kenny Price with 27, and nobody else in double figures.
An excellent night for the Chiefs. Nice job on the offense and defensive ends, and when you do everything right, you usually win.
It was 14-9 Kickapoo at the first stop. They led by 12 at 28-16 at the half, 12 at the end of three quarters, 43-31. And they stretch it out to a 15-point win, 67-52. Our next action coming up on the 10th of February as the Kickapoo Chiefs will face the Parkview Vikings, and we hope you'll join us. For Don West and Steve Barnes, I'm Rob Evans, thanking you for joining us. Our final, the Chiefs win it 67-52. Good night from Glendale.